So, winter weather is on its way, and there's only one thing to do, and that is to get ready. And what I mean by that is I just prepare for it. So, for example, this quail waterer, it takes them about 2.5, 3 days if I fill up this little bowl in here. And the reason why I have the little bowl in there is so if that freezes. So they will go through this little cup and then they'll chip away at any of the ice in here, and then when it's freezing I'll fill this back up with water. The lip is what I mean, because usually I can't, it's not usable. And in this little red, because I've only got, I think I got 11 quail in there. And so other than that, so my feeders are full. I filled them up yesterday, but you can see how much they do eat. But we don't know how the weather's going to be when it comes to winter mix. Here in Kansas, it could be straight up snow, it could be ice, it could be just really cold rain, or a mix of all three. So to prepare myself for that, so if it is the nastiest of cold, wet rain, that's snow, that's real wet, I just will fill this up even more, fill those up even though they could probably go for another day and a half. Okay, so they're pretty full, almost where I can't fill them up, but anything is better than nothing, because if this lasts more than 2 days, this is one less day I have to worry about being out here for 25-30 seconds. But if I do this with every bit of my animals, I could be out here 5-10 minutes less. So that's all I do for the quail with the food. So winter is my least favorite time of the year, simply because my hands freeze. Can't be very dexterous, you know, when you're trying to peel the little string off of the... I got some rabbits going crazy over here. Can't pick up eggs, you can't hold as many eggs, you can't grip the eggs. Then when they get wet, you know, they're just causing issues. And so I don't like the cold weather. So for my rabbits, I actually feed them the same amount. The only reason why is because if I add it in there, they're gonna eat it. So there's no point in adding an extra scoop. So I feed them still just a 1 scoop per rabbit, unless they're a mom that has babies or I'm out of town. So for the water, you can see here this bowl, I haven't watered anything yet today. I do all my watering last. So this bowl is almost full. The bowls were actually over here, but I moved them over here because the lighting's just a little bit better. And this one is about 2/3 empty. And so I put 2 bowls of water in their cages, and during the winter time, or when I go to town, they'll have extra water. And so if they freeze, they can lick on this one that's ice block. If this one's empty, sometimes they'll just knock one over and they have the extra. And so that's the only thing I do. And so if tomorrow, if it's icy and everything's frozen, I can come and I can just fill up the empty one that they had, and then they'll drink that one, and then they'll have the ice block left over to just lick on. I use a ceramic. I don't use any rubber or metal, so I don't bang anything out. I don't have any heated water dishes, so nothing is staying warm and thawing out. So that's just the process that I use. And on these bowls, I actually use some the dishes that I do use are straight up walls like that. They kind of taper outwards, and so it is easy to kind of tip them over, and sometimes they will dump the ice out. If I add a little bit of water on top of it, it'll get between the ice and the edge of the bowl, and it'll just fall out. And that's what I did last year, but I only had one bowl per rabbit, and so I had to do that. And so with this process, it's going to speed up the whole watering game, because in the wintertime it's not fun, because I'm out here scooping because I don't have a outdoor well, that so sometimes I've had to go into the bathroom and use the bathtub, but now I just, if I can, I'll use a spigot on the outside of the house. And so that's my watering and feeding process for the rabbits. Let's move to the chickens. So another thing I do for all of my animals when I know the weather's getting bad is this thing's just a little under halfway full, and I will fill my bins up, because hauling bags back and forth in the wet, cold weather sucks. I straight up just like lost a whole bunch of chicken food over there, like a crap ton. Oh, look at all that chicken food. I don't even have space for this, so I'm gonna throw it in my rabbit container. So for the chickens, what I do is I dump every one of their dishes, even if I filled them completely full and cleaned them out yesterday. I will dump them, clean them, because things are gonna get frozen and get in there. And so I got a few rubber ones. I haven't had enough money yet to get. I need three more rubber ones. They're only like 12 bucks a piece, but either way, I clean them all out and I put them in there, and I'll get them brand new water, and then I move the cages, because some days, especially during the winter, I'll leave them for 2 or 3 days just so they can tear up the ground, get the roots, and do all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot different than the spring and summertime with the chickens. Let them sit so they can tear up the ground, and with that there's a lot more dirt, leaves, and mud that get in there. But I'll move it so that they have fresh stuff, because if it's dirt, showing dirt, and then for example over here where you got leaves and a little bit of grass and roots, it's not going to turn into mud as quick. It'll still probably get muddy, can get muddy. If I had everything in a row, had enough money, like this one over here, it's got walls on it, I would put at least 1 to 2 walls on every one of my chicken tractors. And so I've got the 2 Siskovich tractors, which they've got all the walls, so they have protection. So if it snows and rains sideways, these guys can get wet, but I haven't had any fatalities. And so what I usually do is I just move stuff so that they can get on to dry soil, so they're not freezing. Okay? Good grief. We just talked about this yesterday in my video. Another thing I do is I've got random buckets full of water kind of scattered through the yard, and so I got a hose out here today, but when I have a hose that's not able to reach, I use a bucket. And so I'll fill the bucket closer to the tractors over there, and I'll carry the bucket over here. And so that happens a lot. And so usually I'll have to dump it out, but this bucket's trash, so I'm just gonna leave it. It's about a quarter full. I got a hole in the side of it, and so if it freezes, it freezes, and I'm just gonna have to use something else tomorrow. But what I usually do is I dump out all the buckets, tip them upside down so that snow or water's not getting in there and freezing, which can cause cracks, or just put dirt and leaves in there that fall from the top of the house and top of anything, or the tree itself. Granted, we don't got a whole lot of leaves, but it happens. So that is my winter process. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the feeding and watering before it gets dark, because I am a little behind because of all the videoing. And so if I have any daylight left, I'm gonna just play with the dog, have a lot of fun with him, get some calories burned, and get my lungs, you know, a little bit stronger, because I have been inside laying around way too much. Doing? You weirdo. You thirsty, bro? Huh? Huh? Are you thirsty? Come here. You're such a good doggy, aren't you? It's pretty dark. I'm sorry for the lighting. Man, I need a drink. Like the right side of my throat is like bone dry. Oh, nasty. Alright, I'm going in. It's too dark. And dinner's cooking. So another thing I do in the winter time is put Christmas lights. I did have a rope light, and I still have it hanging up there, but the rope light it starts here and it goes all across. I don't know if you can see it, but at the top of the rabbits all the way to the chickens. But to not bug the neighbors and not light up my whole yard for every neighbor in the world to see, I put lights around here, so if I need to, I'll just unplug. Sorry, I'm out of breath from the dog, but I will unplug it over there and plug it in so that just this is lit. It's kind of a soft tone light so that it's not just exploding for everybody driving by and whatnot. And so, see, oh, he did peck me. I didn't think he was gonna peck me. But yeah, the video keeps getting longer and longer than I expected it to be, but we're done. It's just now starting to get dark. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button, and if you could, share this to somebody. You can just share it with your spouse or somebody else that you know close, and all it does is help the algorithm. If you could, that'd be awesome. That's a free way to support me. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Other than that, we'll see you later.